The censorship has gone to the next level. Just like we predicted. One by one, they're trying to shut us down. They're trying to shut the voices of people down. Why now? Why did Brazil just shut down X? It's only the beginning. You better get ready. Told you it was coming. All right, everybody, let's jump on in here. Let's hit the like button. Let's subscribe. Let's share. Let's get the word out. Today, breaking. Sorry about the glare there. Let's see what I can do about that right there. Let's see. Not in my regular studio, y'all, so bear with me. Judge has ordered ban on X in Brazil. Supreme Court Justice here. A judge in Brazil has ordered the ban after Elon Musk failed to designate a new legal representative in the country. The judge has ordered the suspension of X after owner Elon Musk failed to designate a new legal representative for the country. Brazilian Supreme Court Justice Alexander de Moraes told the National Telecommunications Agency to limit access to X within 24 hours and has given Apple and Google 5 days to remove X from their mobile app stores. The country will also impose daily fines of 50,000 Brazilian dollars or 8,900 US dollars to people who try to access through a virtual private network or a VPN. So let's listen to this gentleman here as he begins to explain a little bit more about what is actually going on. Let's listen to what he has to say. This happened just a couple of hours ago. This came down. It is happening all over the world.
Hey, I'm just doing this video totally off the cuff. Have to say something. The Brazilian government just banned X, which means that the handle for the U.S. Embassy in Brazil at USAMBR is now banned in Brazil. Brazilians can't.
I want you to listen closely to what this gentleman is saying. Now, I've watched part of it. I haven't watched all of it. This is crazy. And remember what we've been reporting on in the last week or so, the three big ones that they don't like. One of their CEOs is in jail, even as we speak right now. Another one, the CEO of X, we all know who he is. He's been threatened with being arrested. He's standing his ground for free speech. And now Brazil, and I'm going to show you Brazil, before you start thinking, well, it's just Brazil. I want to show you how it is more than just Brazil.
Can't even see the X account of the embassy, and the embassy has not issued a statement condemning what's happened.
Why has the United States Embassy in Brazil not issued a statement of rejection and rebuttal when what this guy is saying is true, that the U.S. Embassy in Brazil, their handle on X is now banned. No one can communicate with and reveal information out of Brazil, even from the United States Embassy in Brazil, and not a single comment from our government. Well, it's because we don't have a president. I think if anything we've learned over the last few months is we are not being run by a president. Kamala is not the president. Some people have said Joe Biden's obviously not the president, so is Kamala the president? No, Kamala's not the president either. We are being run by committee. We are being run by people who want to silence us. And let me tell you, this is the way it works. What they can't get done in America, they get done in American allies, and then they test mark it to see how it goes before they bring it here.
Has not threatened sanctions, has not threatened the retrenchment of U.S. business interests, has not threatened getting rid of the $200 million in foreign government assistance to Brazil. Nothing. Just today, earlier, the U.S. Embassy finally, after, I don't know, almost a year of total silence, on just hours before the Brazil banned it, finally made a public statement about everything that's happened and said, we are monitoring the situation.
Wow.
They are monitoring it. They've been monitoring it. They have been behind it. They have been funding it. They have been coordinating it. Earlier today, I saw a picture of...
Listen to this man. He is basically laying out that the American government and even the embassy in Brazil is complicit in this, and may have a hand in it.
Of a Brazilian member of Congress in the United States saying he was a censored man in Congress. Well, do you know that the U.S. government actually funded the Brazilian NGOs, the Brazilian think tanks, who are part of the legislative development of these censorship edicts and who pressured Brazil's government not to create a carve-out for congressional parliamentarians because it would give a free pass for Brazilian members of Congress to spread misinformation online? So the U.S. government funded the pressure for the ability to arrest that politician. This is not a case of Brazilian government gone rogue. The U.S. government sponsored it through the State Department, through USAID, through the National Endowment for Democracy, and about 100 different NGOs, university centers, legal scholars.
NGO, non-governmental organization. This is how governments work now. When they want to get something done, but they want to have plausible deniability, where they want to say, we don't have any idea what you're talking about, we didn't have anything to do with that, they take the money and they fund it through NGOs, non-governmental organizations, that gets it done for the government.
And activists within Brazil, starting in 2018, starting in about October 2018, and first they came for the social media companies, then they came for WhatsApp and Telegram, and now finally they're coming for X. Now, they are between a rock and a hard place, which is why I believe the U.S. Embassy finally issued this pittance of a public statement hours ago before the ban that they're monitoring the situation. And this is because now there's a fire lit under their ass. And I'm sorry, but part of that may have been because I generated over 100 million impressions in the past 48 hours, specifically naming the U.S. Embassy. And I just went on Tucker Carlson specifically naming the U.S. Embassy. Now, to be clear, I'm not sure if it's the U.S. Embassy or it's the Western Hemisphere. What I know is it's the State Department and State Department dollars. And I have 1,000 of these people in Brazil with confessions that they were coordinating with the State Department while receiving State Department money to do it. Okay? So I don't know the specific wing of the U.S. Embassy because I don't have a security clearance. I'm not a member of Congress who can go in and get it. So I don't know if it's the Western Hemisphere aspect of the State Department or if it's directly at the embassy level. But the embassy is between a rock and a hard place right now because they want X to censor all Bolsonaro supporters, all pro-Bolsonaro sentiment. But they don't want to look like they're behind it. They are. And again, bring me in. I will show you the whole roadmap. And they don't want it to be, and they don't want themselves to have to be in the diplomatic crosshairs of it, of blessing the banning of an entire platform in a huge country on censorship grounds, because the other half of what the State Department does is pressure foreign governments for free speech. Because when there's a party they don't like in power, they promote free speech and sanctions countries for not having free speech because it doesn't allow the U.S. State Department network there to win.
You listen to this man, he is laying the fire. He is dropping bombs, y'all. He is telling it like it is, and I am sure I'm in all kinds of trouble right now online, but I'm going to let it play and see where the chips fall, y'all.
An election or rise to power or galvanize political support. So pressure cannot let up. At this point, this late in the game, it is far too late for a semi-sympathetic, we're monitoring the situation from the U.S. Embassy. We need a full-throated disavowal, a full-throated condemnation. We need all of the U.S. State Department-funded NGOs to sign solidarity letters that they oppose the Brazil's action. We need affirmative economic consequences. We need affirmative pullback on, we need sanctions. We need the total dismantlement of all foreign assistance to the Brazil economy. It is not enough to simply.
And let me illustrate to you what's happening right now in real time. Now, do you think, I want to ask you a question. Do you think anybody clicked on this video with the thumbnail that I made and the title? The thumbnail says Brazil just banned X. Do you think anybody that intrigued them to want to know more about it jumped on and because of the words of this man has left the broadcast and don't want to hear what he has to say? But yet I'm watching views being removed in real time because they don't like this information going out. So that means people are being kicked off. That means several things are happening. Y'all, there's some crazy stuff going on.
Orchestrate this whole thing, fund this whole thing, and then at the very last minute try to wash your hands clean. Oh, we don't like what they did. You loved every single moment of it until about 48 hours ago when the fire started getting too hot with the PR blowback. Well, guess what? That's not going away.
All right. So what is he talking about that happened here? This is what went down. Brazil, of course, as you know, just elected a socialist president, prime minister, whatever their title is in Brazil. Number one. Number two, they begin to demand that people get censored for, quote, misinformation. I want to remind you, before we go back to this list, that I have repeatedly told you, and back in January when we covered Davos, the top 10 biggest threats to humanity over the next 2 years, according to Klaus Schwab, number one was not the climate, was not war, it was misinformation and disinformation. And they had class after committee to prepare for misinformation in 2024. We all know why, right? Everybody that's watching this, no matter where you're watching it, we all know why in January they said 2024 is the year that the number one threat to humanity is misinformation and disinformation. And this is what was said in Brazil. We have to censor people for misinformation. Well, many of them lined up and did what they were told to do. But guess what? One did not. X, owned by none other than Elon Musk. X refused to censor. What happened? Number 4, Brazil bans X early today. But then look at this. Today, they made a ruling that they will fine the people of Brazil who use a VPN to get around this ban, to use X, American equivalent dollars of $8,900 American money per day. Basically $9,000 per day if you use a VPN. Now, look at this right here. It's 50,000 Brazilian dollars, 8,900 US dollars. Do you know what the average Brazilian makes a year? 9,000 US dollars. The average Brazilian makes the equivalent of $9,000 a year. And they have threatened to fine you almost a year's worth of income per day if you use a VPN. Now, what is a VPN? It's a virtual private network, and that allows you to go in and circumvent them tracking your IP address, tracking your geolocation, and all of that. Basically, you can fool a computer into thinking, let's say I'm in Alabama, I could fool it into making the computer think that I was in Russia or I was in Mexico. And if there is a paywall or something like that, you know, people use it for that, but they also use it so that they can't be tracked. Well, look at this. But when the Brazilian judge, Alexander de Moraes, ordered X to be taken down in the country, he also demanded that Apple and Google remove VPNs from their stores, basically banning them from purchasing a subscription to a VPN. And as I said, almost $10,000 to Brazilians who dare to use the social network. These are the countries that Brazil just joined that ban VPNs. Let's just look and see what all kinds of countries these are and what they all have in common. Russia, China, Iran, Turkmenistan, Venezuela, Pakistan, Saudi Arabia, Turkey, Iraq, North Korea, Egypt, India, Cuba, Syria, Belarus, UAE, Oman, Uganda, Myanmar. These are all the countries, and there's their flags, that Brazil just joined. Let us not forget that the B in BRICS, the B in BRICS that we talk about all the time here, if you don't know what BRICS are, B-R-I-C-S, BRICS is Brazil. I'm telling you, something is happening globally. There is a crackdown happening like never before. Let's review. The CEO of Telegram is in prison. I think he might have got out on bail, which was multi-millions that he had to pay to get out, I think is what I read, but he's banned from leaving France. So he can't leave France, and he's out on bail for several $1 million. The CEO of X has been threatened to be arrested by the United Kingdom, other countries in the EU. Now Brazil has banned the platform X, which is one of the few things that people can get information out of, where you can get an unfiltered response of what is actually happening on the ground. And we just watched the video. If you came in late, you need to go back and watch the video. I led with a video of a man that broke it down systematically, exposing that this began to happen back in 2021. This started being built by a coalition of government and NGO, non-governmental organizations from America and from the Biden-Harris administration to create the pressure on X. They threatened Elon to have moderators, exactly what they threatened the CEO of Telegram with, to moderate the app. Telegram CEO said no. They put him in prison. Elon Musk said no. He shut down his Brazilian headquarters, pulled out of the nation, and today they have banned the only platform in the nation of Brazil where you can send out unfiltered information. Now, in America, we're not Brazil, but in America, we have something called the First Amendment. Freedom of religion and freedom of speech. We're supposed to, but I believe it's gone. How do I know that it's gone? I don't believe it's going away. It's gone. Yeah, we can still claim it, and we could still probably fight to get it back. But you and I both know that right now, this video that you are watching, whatever platform you are watching it on, you and I both know that there are certain words that I can't even say. Words that are affecting your life, words that are affecting this nation, words that are affecting the world, words that are affecting your freedom, the future for your family, control being taken away from your life. And I cannot say the words, because if I say some of these words, it'll be one of the last things that I ever get to say on this platform. And I think I have to weigh that, and it's sickening. But I have to weigh that as a man of God, because God called me to start the big picture, to point out the spiritual warfare that is happening around the world and the demonic realm that is operating and managing and leading nations. So yeah, it makes me mad, but I'm going to do everything I can do to try to survive, to stay on as long as I can. I don't know how long that's going to be. Do you know what else I found out? I found out that if I put a direct link in the description for you to go follow me on one of those other platforms that are uncensored, the video gets throttled and hidden, and views are taken away. So I had to remove that from the description. And I'm still going to have to edit some things as I'm learning some things. So I just put our website down there, LarryRagland.com. Now, I didn't even have time to do this yet. There is a spot on my website where you've got Facebook and some other things where you can connect. I'm going to go on my website later tonight, and I'm going to put on the front page of my website, LarryRagland.com or .tv. Whichever page you go on, there's going to be direct links to these other apps that I can't talk about and I can't put down there. Ridiculous. And if you think that Brazil is the end, you have not been watching this, or you are not awake or watching this channel. The countries that we see doing these kind of things, they're all tests to see how fast and how far and what kind of pushback they can get, because then they decide to bring it to your country, to my country, and so forth. So you should be outraged by this. Comment down below, comment in the live chat, but especially, if you want to help us, continue to grow in the midst of all this shadow banning and chaos that's happening to our channel right now, because we're starting to get some traction. The big picture is starting to really get their attention. We were this little baby channel and all this. We're starting to grow now. People are starting to know about us, and people are getting put in front of people, and the powers that be don't like that. So the simple thing you can do is, number one, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, give us some hearts, and then comment, not just live chat. So I love the live chat, and I always go back and read it. But if all you ever do is the live chat, that is not really help, because if I have to edit something or whatever, the live chat goes away. One of the ways you can help is to also always make a comment in the comment section. That helps. Share this. And then last, if God puts it on your heart, when you go to LarryRagland.com, if you'd like to partner with us, we certainly would appreciate it. Any financial support you can give us, we would greatly appreciate it. And many of you have done that, and we thank you so much for that. You are a blessing, and you encourage us to keep going on. All right, just a little quick update tonight. X is banned. What's next? Who knows? But as long as I can be here, I'm going to be here. Amen. See you next time on The Big Picture, where we ain't woke, certainly are awake. God bless.
Would you like to help us build the Big Picture family? We're on a mission to wake up the world to what is really going on. All you have to do is go to our website at LarryRagland.com and make a one-time gift, or you can become a monthly partner. Any amount is a blessing and an encouragement to us. While you're there, make sure you get a copy of our book, I See Greatness in You. Browse our merchandise store, connect with us on our social media links, and join our mailing list. We appreciate it. And remember,